I'm Rose. Hi folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today we are going to work on a really pretty net bracelet using beads from our SoftFlex's Design Challenge Kit Camp Out. I think this is going to turn out really pretty and rather elegant, and I hope that you enjoy making it with me. Let's turn down and we'll get started. So here are our beads I've gotten out. This one I believe was actually may have been off the strand. Not positive, but these are the table cut from the individual package. These lapis and these bead caps are from the kit. And then I have added some daisy spacers, as well as here's my lobster claw for my closure, and my 2 jump rings. We'll set those aside. We don't need those for quite some time. I've also got some dark blue lapis beading wire. I mean, after all, we're using lapis beads. We should use lapis wire. So what we're going to do is this baby's going to be in the middle. Then we're going to put a daisy spacer on either side, and then one of these pretty beads here. Then we'll have a daisy spacer again, one of the caps, one of the lapis, another cap, another spacer, another cube, a cap, I should say daisy spacer, a cap, a lapis, a cap, a daisy spacer, cube, and 2 daisy spacers. Then we're going to follow up that design of that with the same on the other side. So we'll have 2 bead caps in our lapis, daisy spacer, cube, daisy spacer, lapis, come on baby, daisy spacer, cube, last 2 daisy spacers. Now, since I'm not sure of the length of this, I'm going to, well, you want your bracelet to be at least 7 inches, unless you're making what for somebody with a small wrist. So I'm going to cut 11. I know it's probably going to be a lot more than I need, but I want to make sure I have enough for easy making of the turns, and in case we need any extra wire due to the fact that some of these beads are big, so they're going to change the circumference of your bracelet. So let's get started on these babies. So I'm going to just put a bead stopper on the one side, and I'm just going to start from the one side and just start beading. So like I said, we're putting 2 daisy spacers on this side. That's for that extra little oomph there. Then we have our tiles here and our daisy spacer, and then the bead cap and the lapis and the other bead cap. So it's going to sit like so, like you go over there. Now we'll have our next daisy spacer and our tile, daisy spacer, and on down the line. Now that we're at the middle, one thing you need to pay attention to is these boho beads like this from Jesse James Beads or whatever you want to call them, are hollow in the middle. That one I got straightened enough that it went through pretty quickly, but sometimes they're going to fight you a bit to go through there, and you need to straighten your wire as much as possible so that it will go straight through. I think the gold and lapis looks so cool together, elegant and rich. Now for our last two daisy spacers. And now we want to put on another bead stopper. And we can check our length here, which just happens to be 7 inches, right on the money. Now, ordinarily, I'd say, ooh, that's too long because we have to put on our lobster claw and stuff, and that's going to take another probably ½ inch. But the thing is, see there? My wrist is about 7 1/4. It won't fit. It's got a ton of extra space there. And why it has that ton of extra space is because some of these beads are larger. So when you fold them around, they go into the middle. See how the bigger beads go? Now these ones are sort of flat, but see how much more of these go inside? It takes up the extra space. So here is our bracelet. We just need to put these pieces on now. So we will just take one end and we'll put one of our crimp tubes on here with I'm going to put the tiny jump ring on this side. This is for the lobster claw to hold on to. Now you could hook the lobster claw directly into here if you wish to. I don't, because sometimes your lobster claws break, and when they break, if you've got them hooked directly to the wire, then you're going to you're not going to be able to change it, which if it's on a jump ring, you can change it. So now I'm going to crimp this, and I have magical crimpers. You put the crimp tube directly into the divot and then just squish, and then you turn it and squish, and you keep doing that until it won't squish anymore. And at that time you should have a little bead, and it should be pretty well should pass your tug test. Let's see if this will go into this twice. Wow, weird, it won't. Usually that's not a problem. See how it's bunching up there? So we'll cut the extra wire right here at the base of my two daisy spacers. Okay, swing that down that way, and then we will do this other side with our lobster claw. Now you'll notice I'm curling it up. I'm doing that on purpose so that when I crimp it, I don't tighten it too much. So let's put this wire through the spare daisy spacers. Come on, you, go up there. Okay. And we will try this table cut. Sometimes they're got a slightly different hole size, but it doesn't appear that it does. It looks like it does not want to go through there the second time. So we will simply get hold of this jump ring and pull her up. Okay. Now we want to make sure the beads are all down. See what that gap just showed up there? We don't want that kind of gap. So we will tighten it a little more. And I actually think that part of the problem is my crimp tube just fell into the crimp this. Anyway, the crimp tube fell into the daisy spacer. And if that's the case, it will make a gap for sure, and on one side or the other. And we were probably going to want to find some crimp covers and cover up that crimp so that it's a little bigger and it doesn't slide all over the place. Though actually this one's already in, and this one's trying to go in. Oh, there's the gap. I knew there would be one. See how big that gap just turned out to be? Well, though, no, it doesn't appear to be much. Huh. There it is again. But when I wrap the beads around, it disappears. So I think we're fine. So now the last thing we need to do is to open up this little jump ring and put on our lobster claw. So we will get a couple of pair of pliers out and open up the tiny jump ring. Come here, tiny jump ring. Now see, it has the space here again, and it's fallen into over here. So it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Issue of whether you want to add whoop, come here, you. No leaving. If you want to add a crimp cover or not. See if we got that closed good. Looks like it. And then we'll put it on here. Now, if you wanted to dangle, you could do that now too. So let's see how big it ended up being. Right at 7. So that's great. So there is our pretty bracelet. Like I say, if the, see, now you don't really even see any extra space there now. It looks like it's gone. But, and that's because the bracelet's now is not in a straight line. It's crooked, so it's curving in. So, doesn't that look elegant? So there we go. There is our really pretty bracelet using the Camp Out Design Challenge Kit from a SoftFlex wire. Isn't that pretty? And as I say, it is a 7-inch bracelet. As you can see, it falls right at the 7. So Very pretty, very elegant, in my opinion, bracelet. So anyway, this has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and again, we have been using beads from our SoftFlex Design Kit Camp Out. Hope you enjoyed making this with me. I think it turned out lovely. Bye-bye.